What is happening, everybody? My name's Seven and welcome to a Fortnite video. In today's video we're going to be looking at 10 tips that are going to help you out win more games, so I do hope that this really does give you some guidance. Of course, I'll be also hiding a 7 logo somewhere in the video. Whoever finds it and sends me a screenshot on Twitter first, the first person that does this, will get a DM with a code depending on whether they're on Xbox, PS4 or Steam. I'll send you a gift card, so get searching for that logo. Getting into number 10, our 10th spot for our tips today is going to be talking about landing locations. Now, you will have all known, hey, I've made loads of videos talking about different places you can go, where you can find chests, and some of the better places to land when you first do come into the game itself. Now, there are numerous different places you can land. You can land in the middle of the nowhere, you can land in the middle of the city, it's entirely up to you. But as a player, my first tip is definitely learn how you want to play as a player. If you're confident with your shot, you know that you want to get straight into the action, and you want to go for like a high kill win, you know, you need to land in those contested areas like the cities, or if you want, you can go check out some of my videos and learn some of the other areas where there's still like long chest runs, but they're in the middle of nowhere, so you get a nice easy start to the game. Learn your play style and learn a route that you're comfortable with repeating over and over again, so that you end up developing a thought process and also a play style at the beginning of every battle royale game. So that's definitely going to help a lot. Taking a look at number 9. Now, I see so many people when they're looting and looking around these different areas, whether they go to the middle of nowhere or whether they go to a city, they're always picking up random weapons. Now, I'm always doing this too. I'm always picking up pistols and shotguns and assault rifles. I'm always trying to get a good mix of my inventory, and I'm trying to make sure that I've got weapons for all ranges. Now, what you want to make sure though is that you have, once you've got the best weapons, so once you've got a legendary scar or a really highly damaging assault rifle, and then maybe you've got a shotgun, start using your other slots for health. So many people don't pick up bandages or like pick up the right amount of medkits, and so towards the back end of the game, when they're getting shot up and they need to heal, they've got weapons that they can't use because they're pointless. They might not have ammunition, or their other weapons are better, when they could have earlier in the game picked them up and replaced it for health. So don't take weapons over health. Make sure you just have your strong weapons and then fill the rest of the slots with health to keep you alive. Number 8 is going to be looking at explosives. Explosives are an item I definitely advise you actually having. Now, whether this is grenades, a rocket launcher, or a grenade launcher, you definitely need one of your slots to be an explosive slot. And I know that a lot of people go, okay, I want an RPG, or I'll probably ignore the grenades, I don't really need those, or I might go for the grenade launcher. You definitely want to make sure that you have one of those slots. So maybe have an assault rifle, a shotgun, and an explosive, and then the other two like dedicated to your health. Don't underestimate the power of explosives in this game. They are OP. The grenade launcher spams and spams and spams, and it destroys people. Even grenades itself in the earlier game and in the late game too can prevent you from having to have that one-on-one fight with somebody. It's also brilliant for taking down structures, so never underestimate the explosives. At this moment in time in Fortnite, explosives are OP, so definitely abuse them. Taking a look at number 7. No matter whether you land in a city or whether you land out in the middle of nowhere, you need to collect resources. On Xbox and on PS4, I've noticed a lot of people don't kind of go and do the building. Like, I know a lot of people kind of build a little bit, but they haven't really learned how to use that in their gameplay. And honestly, once I've started to practice a little bit more with the actual building features itself, I've learned, like, honestly, without building, you're just putting yourself in such a dire situation. You need to collect the resources early game, and the best piece of advice I can give you for that is whenever you've landed, say for example you land into a city, you clear out the city, you've been successful, you've got a couple of kills, you are either in solo or in team, you now know that there's barely anyone around. Destroy a couple of houses at least, destroy a lot of houses if you really want. Make sure you get those resources because they're going to be useful, getting you to the higher ground, getting you into the the sky to give the height advantage over your players in the late game. Definitely collect more resources. Don't underestimate the power of resources. Taking a look at number 6. Now, this is all about supply drops. I always go for supply drops. Well, most of the time. If I'm not going for them, I'm using them as bait. So they're definitely areas of interest. You need to make sure that you either go and open up the supply drop and get the items in there, because you can sometimes, and majority of the time, be gifted a legendary weapon, which of course is just a massive upgrade if you've been stuck with the uncommons and the rares, etc. throughout your whole game. However, play safe when going for these supply drops by using the prior tip, which was obviously building. Build around the supply drops, you know, make sure that you are in a safe location, so check the area first, wait a little bit even if you want to, and use it as bait to see if any other teams or any other players, if you're playing solo, pushes towards it. But definitely go for supply drops. It makes your game so much more interesting. You're guaranteed to get better interesting items, which are going to help you a lot, but you need to play the situation safe, otherwise you will end up benefiting nothing at all. Taking a look at number 5, this is all about sensitivity. With the latest update, there has been a change to the sensitivity, so there are more options for the sensitivity in the sense that you have scoping as well as non-scoping sensitivity. Now, when you aim down sight, if you haven't already got your multiplier correct, you need to get this sorted. So the multiplier is ultimately what's going to decide the sensitivity of your weapon. So even if it means jumping into one game and experimenting with the sensitivity settings and just getting them to the way that you really want them, then this is what you need to do. Because if you haven't mastered your sensitivity, your muscle memory, whether you're playing controller or a PC, is going to be off, and this is ultimately going to make situations like gunfights very, very difficult because you're going to miss shots. And we already know that the spread of the ammunition in this game is really difficult to control, and it's pretty much impossible anyhow. So what you've got to do is definitely master a sensitivity, and with the new settings, I definitely advise spending at least a game jumping on board with that and testing the new sensitivity settings. Taking a look at tip number 4. Now, these next set of tips are going to be all about conflict with players. What you want to do in tip number 4 is use your imagination to think, okay, there's an area over there, there's a hill, there's a potential enemy that might be over there, there's a set of trees over in this direction, there's one building to the right. What you want to do is look at the format of the map, wherever you are, whether it's in late game or early game. You want to take into consideration the landscape and how players might play. Imagine being in the shoes of another player and use this to try and mark up other enemies. Whether it's close range or long range, you need to make sure, especially in the late game, you mark up individuals. Don't just run straight into the middle of the zone and go, right, there's 10 people alive, don't know where they are. Take your time, build, hide, whatever you have to do, push around, explore. Just mark up as many players as you possibly can so that you can then start making strategies on how to pick them all off one by one. Now, if you're somebody who's heading into the barrier, you need to be very careful, because on many cases, like I've seen before and I've experienced myself, when heading into the actual new playable area, running away from the barrier, it is quite often that you've got people on your tail, or you're tailing somebody else, because there's sometimes a very long run into that zone. Always just quickly either jump around and check you behind and keep running again, just to make sure that you haven't got enemies behind you. If you do, then of course you know when you get into the zone, you're going to have to build straight away and get ready for some action. But you want to use this barrier as bait. If you're in the zone already, why not use it and just use this to actually kill the people that are coming in, the ones that are late to the new playable zone. You'll get easy free kills, and of course when moving into the barrier, if there is somebody in front of you and they don't know, hey, maybe I should check my behind, you might be able to just follow them straight into the playable area and get 2 or 3 free kills. So move with the barrier and bait and use that barrier for your advantage. Taking a look at tip number 2, you do not need to shoot until you have a clear shot. Unless you're in that late game where you have no choice, you've got pressure. Say for example, there's a team that are building down the bottom end of the playable area, the zone's coming in like 10 seconds, you know you have to push. Those situations are where you're going to have to shoot. But a lot of times in the game, you might see people in the distance that, like say for example, are running into the playable area that don't need to be shot at. If you shoot at them and they haven't checked their behind, they're definitely going to check it now, and when they get into the zone before you, they're going to turn around and kill you. Make sure that you always have a clear shot, and make sure that you take your time. Or if you're an aggressive player, make sure you've already planned out, and using the tip I've said prior of marking enemies, have that strategy of what your next play is going to be after the play you're about to do. Don't just go for one kill and go, ooh, what am I going to do next? Plan every step of the way, think about your shot, and make sure you get those clean kills. Taking a look at the final tip of today, this is called panic walls, and it was introduced to me by my friend Basil, but a lot of people are using this now because it is epic. Whenever you're running away or you're getting shot and you need to get into a safe zone, your health is low, what you want to do is make sure if you're on PC, you've keybinded it to your mouse, just to quickly place walls down. Whether this is wood or any of the other materials, whenever you're running away and you need to quickly get into cover, panic wall. Literally place the walls down as you run. Place one, run behind it, place one, run behind it, and use this as a way of giving yourself extra health to get into the safer area. I hope all of these tips are of use to you. If they are, please let me know in the comments. If anything I've missed, I'll be happy to do a second episode, so fire away all the ones you think I missed in the comments below, and I will speak to you all there. Thank you for watching, 7 Squad, you guys amazing. I love you all. My name's B7, also known as Marley Wood. Like and comment on all that you love. I will see you all in a future video. Take care of yourselves. Peace.